You know, I'm not gonna lie, I never thought I would say this about Reincarnated as a 7th Prince, but Llyod, he impressed me without making me think he was a psychopath. The kid has cared more about magic than human lives since pretty much began. He's had elements of helping people, don't get it twisted, but the moment when the sword is drawn on him by Big Bro Albert, and he's like, listen, you can have these criminals under your care, but if things go bad, it's your head that will be cost. And he just says, yes, sir. I legitimately respected him, and it made me even more excited to know that Season 2 is confirmed, because apparently back in March, a lot of reliable leakers were saying this was a split core, completely slipped under my radar, probably because I don't really use social media for anime shit anymore, but yeah, so Season 2 is confirmed, and honestly, as long as there's no production issues, we should be seeing it in fall of this year, but given how good the show looked, I'd be perfectly okay waiting for as much time as they need to deliver it, because this is one of the bigger surprises of the season. I have full live reactions over on Patreon if you want to see my full link of thought to any of these Reincarnated as a 7th Prince episodes. It's over there exclusively, so legitimately, Llyod as a character is a psychopath, man. He is a lunatic. Rewind half a season ago, what was it, around episode 6 or so? He was chilling behind a rock, letting everyone fight for their life as he was playing with his new skills. Like, he legitimately just didn't care if anyone was getting hurt. So, to see him actually emotionally grow throughout this arc, and it's really apparent when you see that parting scene with Jade. So, Jade's soul kind of fizzles out. It's a little last remnant of what existed of him, and this death actually touched him quite a bit. It's kind of funny that Big Bro Albert has affected this kid less than a guy who he just respected because of his magical wonder. But hey, I'll take the W when I can get it, because at the end of the day, this is a kid who you would never want to see on the Iron Throne. He would get you caught up into wars just to test his newfound magical abilities. The kid's crazy. It's a good thing he's 7th Prince and not 2nd Prince, because if Albert was to fall on the sword or something and die, God rip this kingdom. But there was growth, and we gotta praise the growth, because at the end of the day, this arc is so different than everything that came before. No one's gonna deny that this show had a lot of sus energy. No one's gonna deny that this show is ridiculous at multiple points. But the show was just freaking fun. It really was. And to see what they did with this Assassin's Guild, who definitely were dealt very shitty hands in life, and yes, have they made mistakes along that way? Of course they have. And the idea of Albert being mature, and this really flexes why he's pretty much considered the next one for the throne, right? The fact remains that, like, I love my little bro. At the end of the day, he's just more upset than anything that he didn't ask for help. But it's true, like, these are people that you can't just say forgive and forget. Like, that's not how... Just because you're the 7th Prince doesn't mean you get what you want. So here's the thing. They definitely probably deserve a second chance. But you can't just give them that with no catches. So you can have them as retainers. You can basically take full responsibility. But if they do commit murder, if they do any of these things again, whose head is it responsible for? Now, would he actually get killed for it? It probably would depend on the crime. If they committed mass terrorism or mass murder in the village, I mean, Lloyd's head very much could get cut off for that. And I think, rather than it being necessarily something that you need to assume you're going to die if they make a mistake, it's more about taking that responsibility, and for Llyod to not feel like a goof or a gimmick in that scene, just yes sir. Everyone's collectively shocked because that's not the Llyod you're used to experiencing. And I never thought I'd say it about Reincarnated as a 7th Prince, because Llyod has been such an anomaly, such a bundle of magical chaos, that I assumed he would never feel responsible. That he will probably save a lot of lives just because he'll get roped into magical shenanigans, but he legitimately came across as a mature person with that scene. And it's nice because at the end of the day, was it still goofy and ridiculous? Of course. Albert's still trying to shake this man down about why his kid brother's underwear were covered in things that he still is misunderstanding. At this point, the guy just needs to say, hey bro, touch his shirt and show him why it looked slimy, but just let the... I want to get 30 episodes into this show and that gag still remains because it cracks me up. It honestly does. But legitimately, this was such a good episode. It resolved the fight in such a fun way, because this man's basically summoning the black hole of death. Our boy nullifies it and says, nah, I don't think so. And the VA for Imposter Jade here, oh my god, probably the best vocal performance of this anime. The way he was getting progressively more shooketh And as he's getting, like, sucked away, hey bro, it's the real Jade, you freed me, he's just begging and pleading. It is so pathetic, but it is such a good performance. Like, it was just beautiful. It just sold you on the bullshittery that was this character. And just to see the animation, the production, you'll be looking at spells that are partially drawn and partially 3D animated, and the seamlessness of everything. Like, if the second season does actually come out in fall this year like rumored, if they remain to be as consistent as they were with these 12 episodes as they will with hopefully the next 12, I have no problem saying this is a top 5 produced show of the year. At least. Like, obviously there's still 2 seasons worth of anime coming out, but right now it's already in a top 5 of best produced of this year. And if it can remain this consistent, I absolutely will keep it like that, because this show is remarkable. Like, they're doing things that I would associate with Ufotable for doing, yet somehow the studio is just doing it equally as well. Such a fun show. Will not deny in the slightest that it had a lot of sus energy, but seeing what they did with the Assassin's Guild, how it not only matured Llyod as a character, but giving people who just needed a second chance, a proper second chance. I really thought they were just going to go back to the hideout, but instead recruiting them and getting to see where their journey would go, now knowing there is a confirmed second season, is going to be so freaking fun. I will miss watching this on Mondays. Mondays were legitimately one of the best days of the week so far of this year. I mean, just between all the isekai greats and just... it's just a show you don't expect to be fun, let alone do you expect the show to be one of the best produced things you've seen in recent memory, nor do you expect it to be some of the coolest versions of magic that you've seen. Like, every time things were explained with magic in this world, I came out understanding it in the context of this world. Like, they did the right amount of explaining without trying to justify magic for actually existing. Like, it ain't gonna make sense in the way of like, hey, this is how a light bulb's made. No, it's like, okay, I understand what they're saying in this world in terms of how they're doing certain things or how he mastered certain things, but you don't need to overly explain it, which this show understood, which honestly a lot of fantasy shows don't. So it's great to see what they're able to do, because for a show that's all about the complexities of magic for an obsessed magic kid, I mean, they did a great job at making me as enthusiastic as Llyod was. It's just I wasn't as crazy as Llyod was, but seriously, props to his development. Let me know what you thought of this season of 7th Prince, and how excited are you for season 2? Let me know down below. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course, ring that bell, and like I mentioned, full live reactions over on Patreon. And hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. So today we got Still Zero, Natasha and Henry, Agus TR, Juan Carlos James Jr., Leaf Solmond, Triton Lord, and Amanda Laboot. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and y'all have a good one.